when we look at the battlefield and how it's changing, you know, there's a hostile China, and that China is trying this string of pearls that has been written about very extensively, Hambantota, they're trying to get more bases in Gwadar and in Myanmar, and they're trying to bring in their underwater gliders. How big a challenge is that if we can detect them in Malacca Straits is one strategy, but then once they come in and they have bases here, is that a huge challenge for us?
So we are, like I said, as a Navy, we are monitoring what's our adversaries and friends are doing in all domains. You talked about underwater gliders. We'll leave it for the time being. We have got a very good maritime domain awareness through various means. And therefore, at any point of time, we are aware that in our area of interest, which is largely the Indian Ocean region, who is doing what, where, when, and how. So the first part, I think, is very well covered. We are aware that China has increased its presence. And by the way, the PLA Navy is the largest Navy in terms of number today. It happened a couple of years back. It has surpassed the US Navy in terms of numbers. So we are fully aware that what Chinese Navy is doing. They have increased their presence from 3 ships when they started in 2008 under the garb of anti-piracy operations in the Gulf of Aden. And today we find at any point of time there are 6 to 8 capable warships which are there in various parts of IOR. Add to that various scientific research vessels. There are satellite tracking ships. There are deep sea fishing vessels, many of them with dual use information gathering missions. So all that we were fully aware. We are monitoring each ship, what he or she is doing. The problem which you are, I think, alluding is that Chinese are come here. They are not acting alone. They are, of course, helping our Western neighbor. I am not surprised. So should you be. This has not happened, accidentally. China has always been helping Pakistan at various levels, whether it is political, whether it is economic, or military. And especially in the last 2 decades, in maritime domain I can talk about, it is happening in the land and air domain also. Yes. They have provided them with real capabilities in terms of 3 + 4, 7 frigates. There is a missile tracking ship. And now, starting next year, they are going to supply them 8 Yuan-class brand new submarines. So we are not surprised about that. Now, what we can do about it is what I said, that that is out of our hands. What we need to do is that we have to find answers to ensure that even this collusivity, if it were to happen, we should not be found wanting, we should not be surprised, and that is what we are doing.
Admiral Tripathi, I ran a visualization which projects into the future the naval strength of the PLN, which is the People's Liberation Navy. The Pak Navy bases the augmentation that they're getting from across the Himalayas, and where the Indian Navy would be. Because one of the big challenges is, what do we want, given the vast list of requirements and the limited budgets that we have? What is most important? So it's at the back of our screen right now. This goes back from 2023 and goes out to 2040. Basically, so that I can explain what you're seeing, if all of what is already in the public domain gets inducted into the Indian, the Pakistani, and the Chinese, and the US navies, where will things stand at 2040? So basically, given the speed of induction and the announcements that have already been made, the visualization that we ran suggests that the Chinese Navy could be 530 plus warships by 2040, which is bigger than the US Navy as well, which would be around 380 odd warships, and the Indian Navy, which would be around 185. Now, if they buy something new, I don't know, but from what we know and has been announced, and the Pak Navy would be around 60. Now, that is, and what we are seeing from the People's Liberation Navy is the biggest build-up in the history of maritime build-ups. They've essentially created an Indian Navy just in the last 10 years. That's the scale of the build-up that we're seeing. How concerned are you about that? Because that's a lot of force being aggregated against you. And what's your strategy to defend us?
So you're bang on target. The PLA Navy has created one Indian Navy in last decade plus, and which is not so good news for us. But there are three things, Rahul. One is numbers per se, and we don't believe in counting, because numbers have their own advantages, disadvantages. The second is the capability, what those platforms build in, whether it is ships, submarines, aircraft, etc. So those are things which has to be analyzed. They have to be war gamed, what capability they are bringing. And the third is the effect which they will have in actual operations. And that depends upon this very basic things called geography. What is the geography of this area? It is predominantly, it is Indian Ocean. It is India is jutting out. So I would like to believe that we are blessed to have this kind of geography where in the Indian Ocean region, we will always have the so-called upper hand as far as geography is concerned. Because the Chinese Navy, if it has to come from wherever it is to come, there is something called, you must have read about tyranny of geography. And that cannot be circumvented by any amount of force. Because finally, the platforms has to fly, platform has to sail to come into Indian Ocean region. And we have got means and measures to track them whenever they leave, wherever they're supposed to leave. So that part is, I think, generally under control. Can they put everything what they have got to Indian Ocean region? We don't know. It is again a hypothesis which we can war game. But you can be rest assured that we are aware of what is happening, whether it is China or Pakistan. And I'll just take 1 minute more. What you didn't ask me is that how does the, what is the effectiveness of Indian Navy as far as the nation's growth is concerned? Because that is what I think navies are meant for. Navies are meant for to ensuring that there is complete tranquility, peace and maritime security so that our trade, energy, our strategic influence, our connectivity remain unhindered. And that is where we feel our role is. We are not so much bothered about who else is doing what, because that is a factor of many things, intent, money, etc., etc.